is Linda Fieldstone, and I'm co-chair of the Elder Justice Initiative on Eldercaring Coordination, sponsored through a collaboration between the Association for Conflict Resolution and the Florida chapter of the Association of Family and Conciliation Courts. It is such a pleasure to be here with you at this 8th World ARC-2026 in Prague, no matter the miles between us. I'm going to speak to you about Eldering and Family Law, the April 2026 special issue of the Family Court Review, Hofstra's Law School Journal in affiliation with the Association of the Family and Conciliation Courts, the premier interdisciplinary academic and research journal for family law professionals. Why does this special issue matter? As families age, hidden dynamics and generational influences often shape caregiving, decision-making, and conflict. This special issue equips family practitioners, the interdisciplinary family law community, and the court with strategies, tools, and insights to strengthen families, safeguard evolving voices, and inform the future of family law. While the concepts revealed in these articles may first appear to be outside the box, this Family Court Review issue is right on target for you. Eldering is a relational model that recognizes older adults as active participants of family systems, applicable to diverse legal and cultural contexts, which can apply worldwide and cross-generationally. Just think of what shaped you and your family, who you and your family were influenced by, supported by, and sometimes even disrupted by. Those interconnections work bi-directionally with every newborn to the passing of each older family member. Think of those anchors and the moving target of your own legacy. How does your family enhance stability, transmit intergenerational values, and maintain cohesion? How does it safeguard dignity in aging, promote autonomy and well-being within a family systems framework, and reinforce social capital? Authors Alex Crampton and Judge Randy Fuller wrote about the coming of age, why aging matters in family law and public policy. Eldering influences nearly every aspect of family law, even when it is not explicitly recognized. Eldering accounts for continuity and independence across the ages as needs evolve, placing older adults not as peripheral dependents, but as foundational to family life with legal, emotional, and generational consequences. Next, let's look at the 4 interrelated dimensions of eldering. Population aging is a major demographic trend shaping family structures, caregiving responsibilities, and legal disputes. Within the developmental dimension of eldering, think of situations that may cause a shift between dependence and independence. New baby, illness, injury, losing a job. There may be a need to renegotiate the autonomy or adaptation to physical change. Dad's choices matter. We're not here to take over Dad's life. We're here to support him living it. Families function through interdependence, yet our systems often force people into categories that fail to reflect their realities of later life. Authors April Harris Britt and Anne Audrey wrote Safe Harbors and Stable Connections, the relationships between grandparents and grandchildren. How did your grandparents impact your life? What have you learned that will influence the way you perceive your own aging? What are you teaching others? Grandparents can offer guidance, love, and access to family traditions, highlighting variations within different societal frameworks, culture, and religion. Sometimes, though, there are breaches in those relationships. As professionals, we can help restore connections, provide greater stability in the family for the long run by encouraging parents and grandparents to discuss issues and create proactive documents to avoid potential conflicts before they rise to the level of litigation. Parent and adult-child relationships in later life are characterized by both solidarity and ambivalence, underscoring that conflict often coexists with deep attachment. Eldering as a systemic approach requires attention to these relational configurations, not merely an individual condition or the presenting dispute. Eldering recognizes contributions of older adults within families, guidance, identity formation, intergenerational connection, and legacy. Think of a voice of a grandparent with vulnerabilities. I may not be able to do everything I used to, but I still have something important to give: perspective, history, and the love I hope they remember. Later life blended families differ fundamentally from first-time families. As a result, typical later life issues such as health and end-of-life decision-making, financial management, and inheritance can create corrosive divides between adult children of previous relationships and their parents' current partner. To be helpful, Naomi Kahn and Patricia Papernell wrote Meeting the Health, Financial, and Legal Challenges of Stepfamilies in Later Life. They compel family-focused professionals to use a stepfamily lens rather than relying on assumptions based on first-time families. This requires recognizing that the interests of adult children from previous relationships and their parents' partner may often differ. Professionals can encourage later life step couples to execute documents codifying their wishes and help them discuss those wishes with their family members to bridge divides later. Sarah Whiting and Joshua Coleman explain estrangement as a systems issue. Estrangement affects not only the adult child and parents, but also siblings, extended family, and future generations, disrupting identity, belonging, and support networks. Since research suggests that estrangement runs in families with repeated patterns of cutting ties, family law professionals can work proactively and look for ways to strengthen the family system through the uncertainty of separation and divorce to create lasting stability in familial relationships. Legal and therapeutic responses should respect the autonomy of both the adult children and parents, fostering space for acknowledgement, boundary clarity, and, when possible, pathways toward reconciliation or peaceful coexistence. Core-connected interventions that incorporate eldering align with therapeutic jurisprudence by affirming inclusion and addressing relational conflict that would otherwise continue through adversarial win-lose litigation. Therapeutic jurisprudence focuses on structuring legal processes in ways that reduce harm, support well-being, and improve family functioning while preserving justice and fairness. Relational ethics emphasizes that fairness within families is shaped by outcomes and acknowledgement, inclusion, perceived loyalty, trust, and historical meaning. Think of the older adult's voice. I understand my family's worries about my safety, but I still need to be part of the decisions about my own life. Protecting me should not mean erasing me. Elder justice, considerations for LGBTQ+ family systems, was written by Lori Marr, Sherelle Wayland, and Carrie Kandrian. Where LGBTQ plus people often rely on chosen family for support and mentorship, family systems that embrace LGBTQ plus grandparents and older relatives can reduce the risks of social isolation and strengthen the bonds of mutual support across the generations. Strong connections across generations within our extended families can contribute to improved well-being, resilience, self-efficacy, and meaningful lives in older age. In their article, Narrative Ethics as an Eldering Paradigm, Fran Tatunik and Delilah Bergen teach us that narrative listening has systemic value. What we listen for and how we respond depends to a great degree on who we are as people, on what we are in relation to the individual storyteller, and on what our own profession requires of us. Being attuned to the characters and events mentioned across the lifespan can give us a broader perspective of time and greater insight as to the patterns repeating from one generation to another. Since older adults are often the repositories of family history and knowledge, elevating their voices and narratives allows us to learn what unites, bridges, and divides the family members. How is your family showing you that getting older doesn't mean you stop being important? The intergenerational transmission of relational patterns is well documented. When elder-related conflict is handled adversarially, sibling divisions may harden over time and even fracture families permanently. Litigation may resolve authority, but it does not address relational rupture and may add to the chasm. Conversely, structured interventions that promote communication, role clarity, and elder inclusion may interrupt destructive generational patterns and support healthier intergenerational dynamics. In this way, eldering extends beyond the older adult. It shapes family legacy. Family conflict in elder care can stem from challenges with communication, decision-making, autonomy, and control, which can impact both the older adult's well-being and family relationships. In our article, Psychometric Validation and Comparative Analysis of the Eldercaring Conflict Checklist, Mike Saini, Sue Bronson, and I describe how this 28-item tool serves as a dependable, practical, and user-friendly way to measure elder caring conflict and family strain when used as a screening to identify 4 main areas of conflict: family dynamics, relationship satisfaction, elder autonomy and care needs, and gatekeeping. Professionals can then determine where to focus their interventions to reduce tension, encourage collaboration, and support care decisions that respect the older adult's preferences and dignity. In exploring elder caring coordination as a way to safeguard the rights of older people, a case study from South Australia, the research team of Eileen O'Brien, Ben Livings, and Dale Bagshaw demonstrate how elder caring coordination provides a structure where intergenerations can adapt, reorganize, and evolve with reduced harm, preserve dignity, and strengthen relational clarity. The process remains focused on the older adult while staying mindful of how decisions ripple through the generations, moving family narratives toward collaboration and caregiving and informed decision-making, creating a space for a new legacy of family pride and collaboration. When guardians participate in the process, they are privy to more reliable information and nuances from family members that promote better informed decision. However, the systemic model provides a viable alternative to formal guardianship proceedings and may eliminate the need for court intervention entirely. Learn more about elder caring coordination on the website www.eldercaringcoordination.com. So that brings us to the question, what is a family? And is there any age limit to that definition? In widening our professional lenses, eldering is a systemic imperative. Sue Bronson and I explain how moving our lenses outward to include multi-generations of voices in the family can benefit members of all ages. A more reciprocal application of insights across age groups, whether working with younger families or older families, enhances family-centered responses that help professionals in the courts address emerging relational needs and potential legal issues across the family lifespan, a concept that is relevant globally. As family roles, identity, power, and interdependence change through a lifespan, Eldering can provide a needed safety net and guard against abuse, neglect, and exploitation from the youngest through the oldest generations. Eldering is a lifespan model that brings relational issues to the forefront, including voices of older adult family members to identify patterns, integrate cross-generational insights, and safeguard multi-generations. This shifts the professional responses from an only individual rights-based or nuclear family model to a systems-informed model, reduces siloed responses, unifies jurisdiction over family system, includes a multi-generationally informed case assessment, offers preventative and restorative pathways, and builds competency across professional disciplines so we can all be part of the family support system for the older adult and other family members. I worked for 26 years in the family court services with parents of minor-age children involved in litigation within the family court in Miami-Dade County, Florida. There, I repeatedly saw how detrimental and heartbreaking it can be when the voices of older adults are excluded from the professional and court process. These voices have much to add to the equation to provide for children and all those that support or detract from their well-being, just as the voices of family members are helpful when considering what can help older adults facing aging challenges. Eldering reframes aging as a multi-generational process of systemic reorganization within the final chapters of a loved one's life and the next chapter of their family's future. The concept of eldering applies universally, adaptable cross-culturally to address complex, layered intricacies of families as they evolve through time. I am so grateful you joined me to hear about eldering as a systemic imperative. I invite you to join me in adapting this concept, elevating our professional practices with the inclusion of all ages of voices that can help us benefit all those we serve. For more information, please reach out to me at lindafieldstone@outlook.com, and please check out the website on Eldercaring Coordination at www.eldercaringcoordination.com. Thank you.